Hey, what's up? This is another one that I want to try out. I'll take a little bit right after mine. 2K26 for the Switch 2. They actually have this at the current gen, which is crazy. I switch like I said, this is the Switch 2 edition. The Switch 1 is the older gen. I think it's that the PlayStation 4 and Xbox 1. So this is like on par with the PS5 and the Xbox Series. Like I said in the Madden video, this is another one that didn't that doesn't have what you call the crossplay and stuff like that. Like what you like if you go to features, I think it's settings. I'm not too sure. Yeah, so I just left everything the same. So pro 6 minutes, injuries on, fatigue on, yeah, file out, yep, everything else on. But I think around this area would have the would have like crossplay, something like that. I forgot where it's at initially, but yeah. So yeah, so it has the view roster, the creator roster, which this is the modern. This is the I think this is the official roster, yeah. So yeah, so my boy Jalen Brunson's a 93. Yep, Karl Anthony Towns a 92. They got OG Anunoby. Yep, all these dudes here. Got Jordan Clarkson. Oh my goodness, I can't wait. I can't wait to use him. But yeah, they got all the teams here, everything else like that. So yeah, so just the normal teams and stuff like that. So yeah. But other than that, that's a shoe. Oh yeah, I forgot they even have Jalen Green here. Oh my gosh. And Dylan Brooks. So yeah. Like I said, but which also the new feature that they do have for the Switch 2, which they have it on the PS5 and thingy, the WNBA, the W baby. That's a sure. I was gonna say, I'm like, as a matter of fact, yeah, I'm gonna try this out. Cause like I said, so I haven't played it on the thing. I haven't played it on the Switch 2. Skip. Look at all these face models that you could use for it. It's the same thing like the NBA. I'll go. I don't know how I'm gonna go. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go. Like I said, it looks pretty good. It doesn't look bad at all. Damn, I'm trying to think of a name. As a matter of fact, Fran. Going Fran Tavares. Tavares, there you go. I don't know, we're gonna make a number. We're gonna make a 19. Make a 2 guard, right-handed. So unlike the NBA type where they have where they have not badges, but where they have like you making your own built in a sense. They already have built templates for you. I think the NBA do have built templates. They have built templates after players and stuff like that. The WNBA doesn't really have that too much. So yeah, so two-way slasher, playmaking inside out, slashing. Which is obviously with none of these you can't dunk really in the WNBA, which is like I said, it's cool, but like I said, look at all these attributes and stuff like that. Which I think they will put you at like a 75 as a rookie, or they will put you at an 85 if you overseas and stuff like that. So offensive threat. I think the best one to me has to be 3 and D2 guard. Well, yes, I get a little bit of the ball handling and everything. Yeah. So, you know what? I'm going to definitely go with the 3 and D2 guard. 5'10". Let's see, 6 feet. I don't... Oh. I said 6 feet. I'm slow as hell. 5'9". I can go... Yeah, you know what? I'll go 5'11". Does it? Alright, yeah, that's fine. Divine. I think it has that 168. Ooh. Sorry. Yeah. You know, I'll keep it like that. Yep. So there you go, you see the prospect, the undiscovered gem. So the prospect, you automatically get your buzz. If you want to start expanding more teams and stuff like that, expand it to more teams, you can do that. Or you can be the undiscovered gem, which that's what I normally would do anyway for the extra 10 points. Which I said the buzz is a little bit harder to get on there, but to me it's worth it for the extra 10 skill points. Overalls, as a matter of fact, not skill points, but overall in general. So yeah. But it's cool. Like I said, I'm not sure what team I'm gonna go to, but
go ahead, Elizabeth.
Woo, big night tonight. You've been on a journey to get to this stage and join the WNBA sisterhood. Who is a player that, if you could choose, you would want to play with this summer?
Out of all of these players, because Brianna, I'm gonna choose Angel Reese.
Angel Reese. Angel Reese is a role model to me. She is one of one. The way she carries herself and drowns out all the noise while remaining unapologetically Angel.
Mm-hmm.
That is the goal right there. And, you know, she's talked about maintaining that same motor both on and off the court, throwing all of her energy into her business ventures that she does. And that's that same hustle that we see when she's chasing rebounds in the paint.
Yeah.
And, you know, to do all that as a rookie, that's just beyond inspiring. She's like my mood board, come to life, if you will.
I like it. I mean, she is a star in this league, and the game is better for having her in it. Have you thought about what you're going to say when that interaction happens?
Wow. I wish that I could sit here and tell you that I'd be a poised young lady. But she actually came and gave a talk at my school one year, and to be really honest with you, I can't tell you a word she said. I just couldn't hear her over the sounds of my internal screams. Just like one big loud scream, just on a loop the entire time. So yeah, I'm not super optimistic about keeping my cool. But I would love to ask for a jersey or a signature or something, though. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll be absolutely fine.
Thank you.
On another note, the league is at a fascinating growth point right now, with viewership skyrocketing. How much of the WNBA did you watch growing up? And does the history of the game inform at all where you want to land?
So, to be honest, I started watching the WNBA, I think around 07, 08. So this was like, so I would say like Sue Bird was in her prime, damn near. Sue Bird's been there for a while. Diana Taurasi, Lauren Jackson, as a matter of fact. So it's been like a minute since I've been watching the W. Swin Cash, Oh gosh, Simone Augustus, Lindsay Whalen when she was on the Connecticut Sun at the time before she even went to Minnesota. Sylvia Fowles, Candace Parker, Lisa Leslie on her last her last little I would say her last legs. Yeah, so it's been like a minute. It's been a minute, so. So,
Look, if I could wave a magic wand and get the Houston Comets back, oh, that would be my choice. Line me up. Cheryl Swoops, Tina Thompson, Cynthia Cooper, and I would just be in basketball paradise. Exactly, yes. But no, all jokes aside, it's really just such an honor to be considered by all these franchises. And I'm so excited to be walking the road that all these legends paved before me.
The spotlight has definitely been on women's sports these last years. How much do you think that on-court rivalries play a factor in the growth of the league? And do you think that these storylines are good for the game?
Oh, I love the way that stories are being told right now. And I think that has fueled those rivalries that you're talking about. You know, look at Angel and Caitlin. They faced off in the national championship in college, and their fans have followed them to the WNBA. You know, every matchup between those two is must-see TV. And the Fever and Sky have two of the hottest tickets in the sport right now. And when the Aces and Liberty assembled all that star power a couple years back, every matchup between them was called the Battle of the Super Teams, just pulling in huge ratings, huge numbers. And my grandma wouldn't be able to follow anything that was happening on the court, but I'll tell you, she knows all the tea. She definitely knows all the tea. And I think all these rivalries are just another entry point for the fans.
Yeah, totally agree there. Unfortunately, you just missed sharing the court with the WNBA's all-time leading scorer, Diana Taurasi, who played in the league from 2004 to 2024. She brought a ton of that spice you were talking about for so long. Now, what part of her legacy speaks to you the most?
Damn. Because she was an absolute bucket getter at the like. I'm not gonna hold her. She was still an absolute bucket getter. So. Yeah, I believe. Yeah, she's definitely a GOAT in my opinion. Like what you like? She's up there for sure to me.
DT scored more than 10,000 points in the greatest league in the world. That is wild. 2 decades, she just kept putting up buckets. That longevity is incredible. The hours that she spent in the gym when the lights were low and the stands were empty so that she could shine when it mattered the most. You know, as someone who loves to score, she is my GOAT. Best to ever do it.
That's right. For the fans who might not know you yet, what do they need to know, either on or off the court?
No. Boom.
Well, you know, being a professional athlete is about more than just buckets. You know, you play like Paige on the court, but you can make an impact like Tamika Catchings or swing cash off of it. And it's so important for me to show up in the community, for me to be a role model for all these young girls and boys to look up to. You know, I want to be a regular at the local coffee shop. You know, I want to run a basketball camp locally every off season. When a team is drafting me, I want them to know that I plan on representing my city every moment I'm awake.
I heard that. Okay, so I want to shift gears quickly for a couple of rapid-fire questions so new fans can get to know you. First, when it comes to a city, do you prefer a bigger metropolis vibe or a smaller, more intimate one?
Nah. No, it doesn't really matter. for now, I'll try to choose a small town.
I grew up in a town where everybody knew everybody else. And, where people took time out of their day to stop you on the sidewalk and tell you had a good game, and where they know your go-to order at the diner. And, when you compare that to your New Yorks or your Chicagos, of course, you're not going to be matching those same kinds of population numbers, but what we lacked in quantity, we absolutely made up in quality with those genuine connections. And I just feel most at home when I'm surrounded by friendly faces.
All right. Let's keep this one easy. Favorite color?
Oh.
Ooh. Black.
Okay.
One year, Skylar Diggins Smith showed up to the WNBA All-Stars in this long black trench coat, sunglasses, black leather heels, long black dress underneath. Woo, woo. My goodness. I had that same look as my phone background for like months after she showed out like that.
How about this? On a day when you've got nothing scheduled and you can just relax on the couch, what is your go-to cheat meal?
I'll go with pizza.
Look, I say this with pride. I was raised on pizza. It was like actually a part of the food pyramid in my house growing up, like at the bottom of like the most essential needs. Yeah, that was pizza. And after every club game, my dad, who was our coach, shout out to the Squirrels teammates, never forget that. We would go down to this pizza shop on Main and just take down several pies. Just take it down. And before you try to follow that up, what we're not about to do is catch me up about what city makes the best pizza.
Oh.
We're not doing that. I'm not trying to tank my career minutes before getting drafted. Thanks.
Okay, I'm definitely not trying to get you in trouble. Okay, let's bring it on back to basketball. Let me ask you, does it matter to you where you're selected in the draft order?
Yes and no. How is that for an answer? Look, this is the toughest professional league in the world when it comes to cracking a roster, and it just keeps getting harder and harder the further you are along in the draft order. And there was that documentary, the 144, 2 years back, and I know we're up to 156 for the Valkyries, but still. That being said, if you presented me with the option between a high draft number and a strong fit within an organization where I can really, see my game blossom while I adjust to the pro level, I would take that second option every time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh wow. I'm gonna play for a different team. Just because they did make the playoffs and stuff like that, I'm gonna go with the Golden State Valkyries. Yeah, so it's basically about like the same thing that they normally would have. For like I said, for the PS5, Xbox 360. I said 360. Jeez Louise. Xbox Series. You got freestyle. Sit up there, obviously play games, whatever the case may be. The NBA is a little bit different, so yep, you still got the hot zones. I haven't really did anything with the shots, anything else like that, so yeah. As I break terribly. But yeah. So yeah, so I'm a 2 guard. Let's go. The 2 guard running it up. I'm not sure if I'm point guard after this or small forward. But if I'm not a what you call it thingy, then cool. But yeah, but it runs smooth, which I says obviously, like I said, you can't sit up there and play other thingies, other consoles or stuff like that. You can't crossplay. So yeah, like I said, so I think if I'm not mistaken, I think this runs around like a good what you call it, between like a good 35 to 50 frames. It's not 60. So yeah, but it feels good. It's like it's decent enough. I know some people might talk about the blur and whatever the case may be. It doesn't necessarily bother me as much. That's what I said. Kind of reminds me of like how the Switch 1 was, where it's like if they tried to put this like on a PS4 or whatever the case may be, this is how it would kind of look. So yeah, so it's kind of like a mix in between that, which is fine. It's like a mix in between like the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4, which just obviously you wouldn't be in it for the games like this. So which just if you have another console, but if you don't mind taking that outside, whatever the case may be, and you know shining your new Switch 2 with playing NBA 2K or Madden, this is also fine. So yeah. But yeah, but I think this is gonna be it. So just if y'all do want to see more of this, let me know. I will try to post out some extra games and stuff like that. Probably get me some more games that y'all probably want to see for the Switch 2 version of, or just the Switch 2. Like I said, so I'll probably get Pokemon just for that too. Unfortunately, even though I do want it for the Switch 1, but yeah. But I'll possibly get it for the Switch 2. Same thing with Metroid and stuff like that. I'm not sure how much I'm going to really sit up there and play it. Thingy. Same thing with this. I says if y'all like it or y'all just tell me that y'all want to see something more like this, let me know. Which I said, don't have to be necessarily Madden and 2K. It could be something else. It could be another game that y'all probably saw up there y'all looked at, like Dragon Drive or whatever the case may be. I still haven't gotten that yet, so yeah. But yeah, that's it. I'll see y'all later. And once I make this layup, I'm out. Peace.